Hello and welcome to the Financial Monitor from Voice of Nigeria, Abuja. As always, the Financial Monitor looks at the activities of the Central Bank of Nigeria in its regulatory functions and ways it rejuvenates the Nigerian economy. In this edition, we will get an insight on the Global Money Week, a celebration of the Child and Youth Financial Literacy Week. Stay tuned for details, but before then, let's pause for the economic news. I am Okatahi Ojia.
International and local operators in the Nigerian petroleum sector have declared that there is palpable fear in the industry as a result of the recent low prices of crude oil in the global market. According to them, the low prices and uncertainties in the local fiscal environment have prompted oil companies to review their work programs across the country. The operators made their position known during the leaders' session at the ongoing Nigeria Oil and Gas Conference in Abuja, the nation's capital. The managing director, Total Upstream, Elizabeth Sprout, Shell Country Manager, Osage Okumbo, Managing Director, ExxonMobil, Nolan O'Neill, and managing directors of other notable oil firms agreed that there was a need for the government to collaborate with the industry to address the challenges confronting them. They also outlined the difficulties they were facing in getting oil mining licenses renewed, as well as the multiple tendering processes adopted by the federal government. There is an urgent need for the Nigerian government to diversify the nation's source of revenue in the wake of the low oil prices. This was the position of one of the speakers at the 15th Oil and Gas Conference in Abuja, Dr. Ransom Owan, in an interview with Voice of Nigeria. Mr. Owan, who is also the Group Managing Director, Alto Power Generation and Distribution Company in Nigeria, also spoke on the significance of the conference in the face of the dwindling oil price. That was the Group Managing Director, Alto Power Generation and Distribution Company in Nigeria, Dr. Ransom Owan. The Nigerian Communication Commission has said it would on May 5 auction 14 slots of the 2.6 GHz frequencies for broadband communication services across the country. At a press briefing in Abuja, the nation's capital, the regulatory agency said the frequency auction would be on the national basis. This means the NCC has abandoned its former plan to issue the license on regional basis. Each slot of the frequency is made up of a pair of 5 MHz, with the 14 slots that are up for sale containing 70 MHz pairs. The NCC Director of Spectrum Administration, Mr. Austin Nwanelu, and the Director of Public Affairs, Mr. Tony Ojobo, announced that the reserve price for each of the slots had been set at $16 million. Nwanelu also announced a deadline of April 21 for the prospective applicants to submit their expression of interest to bid for the spectrum. If the 14 slots of frequency are sold at a reserve price of $16 million per slot, the federal government will rake in a total of $224 million. The Nigerian Customs Service says it has set a revenue generation target for 982 billion naira for the year 2015, as against the 1 trillion target for 2014. The Comptroller General of Customs, Alhaji Abdullahi Diko, who made this known in an interview with newsmen in Abuja, said there was a shortfall of 18 billion naira in the 2015 revenue target due to the dwindling oil prices. According to him, customs is being funded from revenues collected which appear on the overhead and other expenses.
Welcome back. In order to reduce the number of Nigerian citizens excluded from the financial system, a national financial inclusion strategy has been launched by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The initiative aims to reduce the percentage of financial exclusion from 46.3% to 20% by the year 2020 based on the statistics that more than 65% of Nigerians lack access to formal financial institutions. A crucial aspect of the financial inclusion strategy is financial literacy. As a follow-up to the launching of the financial inclusion strategy, the CBN developed a financial literacy framework, a document which articulates strategic direction for a multi-stakeholder approach to the delivery of financial education programs across various target groups of the population in Nigeria. One of the target groups identified by the framework is the children and youth group. Today, less than 1% of all children in the world have access to financial education and financial inclusion, with 1 billion children living in poverty. In light of this and the fact that today's children are tomorrow's future, Nigeria, for the second time, joined the rest of the world to commemorate the Child and Youth Finance Week, which is celebrated worldwide to create awareness and engage children and youths on issues of finance. Dr. Sarah Alade, governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, speaks on how the bank plans to achieve this initiative.
So it is for those who are responsible, both the central bank, SAGE, whatever we can do to make sure that what is happening, this idea that is already catching up in these two schools, can also be replicated elsewhere. So how do we encourage you to then mentor other schools, to expand this thing? That's the whole idea. So whatever we need to do when we leave this place today, the consumer protection, those who are charged with financial inclusion and financial literacy in central bank are there. The agencies, NGOs we're working with, the domestic money banks, their representatives are here. What can we do to make sure that this is extended to other schools so that we have entrepreneurs?
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, also said it would partner with the Federal Ministry of Education on a new curriculum aimed at creating financial literacy among school children. Assistant Director, Financial Literacy and Consumer Protection Department of the CBN, Mr. Ibrahim Hassan, said that the curriculum was intended to raise financial awareness of children.
We are working very hard with the Federal Ministry of Education, the National Education Research Council. We are working together with all other sectors, including the capital market, including insurance, including pensions, to make sure that we start teaching our school children financial literacy in school. It is a major gap we have identified, even though there are a lot of subjects, but there is no particular subject that is teaching financial literacy in our school children.
Mr. Hassan said that 46% of the Nigerian population were currently financially excluded, which necessitated the CBN to initiate the programs targeted at promoting financial awareness in the society. He added that the final draft of the curriculum would be ready by the end of the year, while the launch would hold early next year.
We are developing this curriculum. It will be integrated into the Nigerian school curriculum so that we start teaching our school children. We are going by the end of this year. Hopefully by 2015, we'll be able to deploy.
On his part, the Chief Executive Officer, Students for the Advancement of Global Entrepreneurship, SAGE Nigeria, Mr. Agu Amogu, explained that the financial literacy for children was important in helping young people make groundbreaking achievements early in life.
We're on point with the essence of the work, which, as you have heard several speeches, which is geared towards financial inclusion across board, child and youth. We can't overemphasize the importance of including young people in the financial network.
Dr. Sarah Alade of the Central Bank, in her remarks, stressed that developing and inculcating entrepreneurship education in children was necessary in enhancing inclusive growth in the country.
Identified by the framework is children and youth. The framework provides a strategy for directly impacting on the younger generation through financial literacy and skills such as budgeting, saving, investment, financial planning, and other basic financial concepts. It is envisaged that this early intervention will help in creating lifelong desirable habits and attitudinal changes in handling financial matters.
The Apex Bank had, in 2013, introduced school mentoring programs for secondary school students under the Financial Literacy Program. Dr. Alade, while giving a lecture on Financial Literacy 101 to mark the Global Money Week for students of Model Secondary School Maitama in Abuja, stressed the readiness of the CBN to ensure that its financial literacy campaign cuts across young people in rural secondary schools nationwide.
Wants to introduce young ones to financial concepts. The idea of saving, investing, all the issues that you have to grapple with in life about money. So we want the young ones to be able to get it early in life. Cultivate the habit of saving money, not spending all the time. And then that way, by the time they become adults, they are already familiar with what we are talking about in terms of savings, in terms of investment, in terms of the channels of money. Even you can see we also talked about cashless. They are interested. They want to know what do we want to achieve by going cash light. So all these things that we don't take children for granted. It is at this age that they need to know. And when they grow up, it will have been part and parcel of them.
Dr. Alade said that the program would expose children to saving and investing culture, as well as the things they would have to grapple with in life about money.
We have been able to achieve a lot. And if you listen to the type of questions they are asking, you will know that they are not just starting from ground zero. Most of them are already exposed to it. What we hope to do is to spread this to more schools. And like she said, what we have done today is not only in Abuja, it's going on all over the country. We're hoping that we will be able to spread, to go to rural areas, and then get all students, all children, to be able to embrace these financial concepts.
For Adeline Manawa, a student of Model Secondary School, Maitama, the initiative is a good opportunity for her to learn as well as ask questions of the CBN management on financial issues bugging her mind.
It's very important because everybody needs to be financially literate. Gone are the days when you earn and then at the end of the day you borrow before the end of the month. Now, if with this financial literacy, I think I'll be able to save, and so that in the future I won't have to borrow from anybody. I'll be dependent on myself and I'll be able to provide for my family no matter what happens.
Another student, Gabriel Ebule, who was grateful for the mentoring session, said that it would help him plan for his future.
It will emboss me with the financial lecture, financial planning, future plans. I will make investments, stock buying, all those things to help me in the future of time. Like I said, saving is to save for a better time, for a rainy day. I say the financial literacy help me to know what I should do to help me save and how I should go about the saving. And most of the questions answered by CBN governor, CBN governor, will help me to endow me with the knowledge that I need to know about the financial system of Nigeria.
Voice of Nigeria sought the opinion of some of the students during the week on how financially literate they were.
Financial literacy is a state where children do engage solely in finances. Guys, they save their money to see a brighter future ahead.
I think a mobile money account is more preferable to save me the stress of going to bank since I'm still a student. And my parents are the ones to operate the bank account for me.
I don't know anything about financial literacy.
What do you know about financial literacy?
I don't know.
The Apex Bank is of the view that every child has a right to a future, and given the challenges of underdevelopment, hunger, youth unemployment, and extreme poverty, especially in the developing countries, concerted efforts to equip the youth for personal and social responsibility and productivity must be a priority. This is where we draw the curtain on this week's edition of The Financial Monitor. Do join us next week for a fresh edition. Production was by Hawa Noro Ali, and I am Okatahi Ojia.